Are you trying to build the best team in Madden? Well, head on over to instantmuttcoins.com to avoid the packs, save some racks. Link is in the description below. Use code CC now for 20% off. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We're here, and we're time to predict the rest of the most feared promo. Now, we did the initial predictions, a while back. We didn't really know what the structure was going to be for the promo, and now we actually kind of know what the structure is going to be. So this is when I want to come back around to it. Now, if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing and drop a like. Very, very helpful. Let's get into this, okay? We're just going to be on the screen. We're going to be over here, okay? So in the off random chance you don't know what most feared dropped on us, we got Scary Sharp on Friday. Now, Kralo had mentioned there's going to be 4 parts, and we're all like, I wonder what the 4 parts are. Well, EA sent out an email blast yesterday to a bunch of people that said that the 4 parts are Scary Sharp, Scary Strong, Scary Fast, and Scary Tall. So we know that with the other 3 parts are coming. Got to assume that they're going to be coming next week. I would like to assume that we're dealing with maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday release. Again, that's not confirmed. That's just me dropping some assumptions here for us. So we saw that we got 2 masters. And again, I'm going to read into this a little bit. 1 current player, 1 non-current player, okay? We also got 2 lower cards as 90s, and they were both current players, okay? So I'm going to do my best at trying to predict who these are going to be. Again, these are predictions. These are guesses. In no way am I advocating go invest in certain players for this or do anything like that. This is just sort of where my thought falls. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. I'm also going to assume that out of the 90s, 1's offense, 1's defense for each of these sets. Now, Scary Strong, I feel like our current master is going to be Aaron Donald. He makes a lot of sense. Right? He just makes a lot of sense. He's Aaron Donald. We saw him. He was part of the teaser. Cool, right? That's cool. I've got no problem with that at all. Which means that I would then need to predict who a Scary Strong offensive player would be. Now, the problem with that is it really leads me down the offensive lineman path. And offensive linemen are not super fun, but they're necessary in the game and all that. I don't really... Like, we could get receivers, potentially, tight ends, potentially. I'm just going to go with offensive line here. And the strongest offensive lineman we all obviously know is Larry Allen. He's already had a card. This would be an upgrade for him. Again, there's no problem with that. I think it makes sense. We haven't had a right guard upgrade since then, really. So it just makes a lot of sense to do that. Otherwise, for your lower cards, your 90s, it really could be absolutely anyone here. There's so many players who are really strong. You got to think of like a D tackle, like a Brandon Williams. Unfortunately, again, not the sexiest guard in the world, but he would make a lot of sense. And then offensively, I would hope that we would get like a tight end or a receiver there, a nice big physical receiver. Who knows who it could be though, right? That's the 1,000 people you could really pick there. And none of them really stand out in my mind, but maybe you have an idea or a guess yourself. Then we're going to go to Scary Fast next. Now, the obvious guess is Tyreek Hill, but we're getting Henry Ruggs because we saw him on the teaser. Now, Ruggs could easily slip in as just a limited somewhere as a 92, which would be kind of dope. But I think he fits more the mold of the 90 overall. I think additionally on defense, my guess is going to be Dante Jackson. Okay. Now, he's a cornerback. Okay. Makes sense. Cool. When we go to the legend side of things, this is where it gets tough. Fast cards. There's so many good, really fast players that we could pick from. A lot of them happen to be tall as well, which would, from a desirability standpoint, of like Randy Moss, right? But I think Randy Moss is going to probably fall into the 50 program. It makes a little more sense there than as a promo master. So I'm not going to pick him. But I think for Scary Fast, when we think of, we have to get a receiver, right? I think it just makes a lot of sense for it to be a receiver. And that's where Tyreek Hill would come in as your current player, right? Potentially. Again, makes all the sense in the world. Literally all the sense in the world. So if you had him and Ruggs, that's a really odd set of getting just two absolute burners. It could happen. I mean, EA's done crazier things in the past. Otherwise, offense would probably be a bit of a running back. I don't think CJ2K is necessarily going to be a guy in the game anymore, at least until whatever legal issues get cleared up. So we're just going to go with Tyreek there. And defensively, a really, really fast player. Again, there's a ton of them, an absolute ton of them. But I want to throw back, and I'm going to give us Darrell Green, okay? He's been in the game before. He wasn't in the game again last year, but he makes all the sense in the world for it. But he's a little short corner, maybe not super desirable. There's a lot of other really good cards. Isaiah Simmons could get a card, which we wouldn't have any problems with. He's also tall. So I'm just going to go with pretty basic. Hey, here's the fastest player on offense and the fastest player on defense. Make him the fastest player in the game. Cool. We move on from it. And we get to Scary Tall. We've had this in the past. It's like Tony Gonzalez was the master for it. Obviously, Tony's not going to get another upgrade at this point. I don't think so. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But when we're going for quote-unquote tall players in the current sets, I think Richard Sherman's going to be our 90 overall in the current set. Again, he's a nice, big, tall corner. And offensively, again, it would make sense to do a receiver. Makes sense to do a receiver. Nice, big, tall receiver. And you know, for someone to be a 90 overall, it's tricky because you could think DeAndre Hopkins was obviously in the teaser, right? DeAndre Hopkins was in the teaser, so who knows? But a tall receiver, pick one. Pick any one of them. It would be fine. Pick a tight end, Evan Ingram. And it's not that tall, but there's lots of tight ends that you could really just jam into that 90 overall spot. So many cards. When we talk about then who the master should be, Scary Tall, I think should be Calvin Johnson. Personally, call me crazy there. And the Scary Tall on defense, if I'm using Calvin, who would be a legend, I would need to pick a current player. And I'm gonna, Anthony Barr's been hurt. He makes a lot of sense. Plug him back in there. He's a guy a lot of people like. Cool. Now we also saw a couple cards in here on the teasers, which we haven't named. Jair Alexander, right? Now he could obviously be that 90 overall scary fast cornerback, but I feel like he might just end up being a limited. Sort of my guess there would make sense. He could fall either way. Again, where does DeAndre Hopkins fall? Again, maybe he's just a limited. Maybe he's another part of a promo, because we saw Cam Jordan on there, but he was only a 90. He was part of like a solo string. So, when I predict stuff, it's really what I want. I'm trying to pick the most exciting cards and the best cards, not necessarily make the most sense from a MUT perspective or who needs upgrades. Just what I would really like to see, and I think would be the most engaging, fun content possible. Now, EA doesn't always go for that. They're obviously going off like cycles of trying to upgrade cards. So we could easily see DeAndre Hopkins fall into any of these categories. Same thing with Jair Alexander. Aaron Donald could just end up being a limited too. Who knows? But let me know down below what you guys think. Fingers crossed we get some really good content. I do assume it's going to be really good, but we'll find out in the next week. Enjoy it. Have fun. Be great. I'm out. Peace.